Hey guys, I'm Nicholas, and I'm a conservation and nature photographer and filmmaker, and today we're looking at the Canon EF 100 macro and the Canon RF 100 macro. So what is the difference between the EF and the RF? So the EF is for the older DSLR, that's the type of port that used to go on them, and the RF goes on the newer mirrorless camera, the R series. The advantages of the RF 100 2.8 macro L is that it is a newer lens, it has a newer technology, and rather than a 1:1 ratio, it's a 1.4:1 ratio, which means you can get things bigger in the frame. So when we talk about ratio 1:1, is that things will be life-size in your viewfinder, whereas if you go 1.4:1, things will be slightly bigger. So when you're photographing an insect, you can get more detail and more of the insect in the frame. So the main differences between the EF mount and the RF mount is that the EF mount can be adapted on an R body. You can use different types of adapters in between, and by doing that you have a range of options when you're looking at the adapter. One of the adapter is the drop-in filter one, and so you can add variable ND or polarizing filter in between your lens and the camera, which gives you more versatility and really make most of the collections you've accumulated over time. And the RF mount goes only on the R cameras and adapts straight onto it, which enables the lenses to be smaller and lighter. One of the main technical differences between the two lenses as well is that the EF version has super spectra coating on the front element, which helps a lot with contrast and other aspects of the image. The RF has air sphere coating on top of super spectra coating, which means that in difficult light conditions where it is strongly backlit or where you have a lot of flaring, the extra coating will help you deal with that and make cleaner images. So one of the main benefits having the RF 100 on an R body is that I can really maximize the use of the new technology. This autofocus system that works really well with the new lens enable me to catch the eye a bit better of the animal, having to take less images to get keepers rather than taking a lot of images and hoping that it would catch onto the eye or where I want it to focus basically. So we often get asked about the focus distance selector on the side of the lens. And basically what it does is that you can help your camera focusing. If you know where your subject is, which distance, you can select that on the side of the lens, and the lens will only focus within that distance. You can make it even faster and really make sure you get the shot you're after. Where both lenses are really similar is that they both allow you to capture a range of images with great optical quality. Whether you're shooting in backlit conditions or in different spaces, you really can get a lot out of either. The RF 100 macro 2.8 L has the spherical aberration control ring, which lets you be more creative and choose the output and the look of your bokeh. You also have better stabilization as well with 5 stops, and the RF lens is built for the R system, so you have a seamless integration between both. So I shot on the EF version for a very long time, and I've used it in several countries around the world, photographing frogs, insects, snakes, a range of things, so a lot of nature macro. And then I swapped to the RF version that I've put on my R3, and since then I've photographed similar things, but I've enjoyed the slight differences where the better IS and the control ring in the front as well. A control ring at the front of the lens that you can assign to a range of functions, so you can really customize that. So one of the things you can do with those two lenses that isn't macro is portrait. People often use the 100mm macro as a portrait lens. It's a great focal length, it's 2.8, so you get that shallow depth of field, and it's optically excellent. So both the RF and the EF lens are coming from the L lineup, which is the best lenses Canon make, and you will recognize that with the red ring around the lens. And you get all the best coating on the elements, you get all the best features that it can put in these professional lenses. If you want to know more or have any question about the RF 100 or EF 100, go to georges.com.au or come and see us in store. See you next time.